So I'd like to welcome Jonny Lee, the founder of Last Night a DJ Saved My Life, which was established in 2010 and is a UK registered charity. It's been set up for helping children in crisis, and those children are mainly in Asia, Africa and Europe. So welcome, Jonny.
Hello there, Richard. Thank you for inviting me on.
It's absolutely great that you've actually accepted my invitation, and that we can just have a chat about your charity, because I've known you for a few years now and I'm really impressed with the work that you've been doing. So now that I have the community spirit easing, I'd just love to share more information about what it is that you do with our readers. So can you start off by just telling me a little bit about your mission with Last Night a DJ Saved My Life?
Yeah, the mission, myself coming from the sort of the dance music industry, and I've been engaged in that whole world of dance music since the mid '80s and the explosion here in Ibiza and then in Britain and all that. And after being involved in that for many years, it became apparent that it needed to start having more of a purpose, as in really making a difference. And we I came up with the idea for the foundation to create a platform which could make it a lot easier for those involved in the dance music industry, be it DJs, be it performers, be it venue owners, or be it just playing clubbers, like people like ourselves who are there on the dance floor, for all walks of life, but making it easier where we could come together as a group representing something of a community that is quite a powerful community globally, if you think about how dance music is spread around the planet. But with adding more of a mission to it, that we can make a difference between us if we create some good action and just put some effort into helping others, really. And we are there as that sort of facilitator to advise people and make it easier for people to actually do that.
Right, incredible, actually, what you're doing. So just to get an understanding then, how does it actually work? How does the charity work to?
Well, we as a charity, we've set ourselves up as a foundation. So the difference being, rather than us most of the time doing the charitable work ourselves and having one set goal, what that is, we found as a foundation it would allow ourselves to support many different causes, all lending themselves to helping children in crisis, but many different causes that we could then support. We could do our research, we could find some of these grassroots projects, and then we can funnel the finances, the funds that have been raised from various different events or people generally getting involved, and we could focus it on what they actually want to support. So not telling people exactly what they've got to support other than children in crisis. There's many ways of helping children, and we sort of allow the donor themselves to be able to choose from many examples of what they could support.
So in that case, you're acting as as an umbrella organisation, is that?
Yeah, it would be fair to say that. Yeah, and doing our research, that we make sure that the projects that we're highlighting and then passing on to other people to support, that we've done our homework as far as that they're doing everything transparently, they're not in that sort of grey area of charity where people are getting paid extortionate amounts or not so much is actually going to the project. More often than not, our projects are so on the ground and grassroots that every penny that is collected is going directly to building something or making a difference at the source, rather than it filtering down through a big organisation.
Right.
And all that takes time, and it's the time that people don't really have to research these things. So we research those and create campaigns also around those causes to help raise more for the causes. So in a roundabout way, we're working with the people who are who are making the difference, and we're working with the people who potentially can financially make a difference to support them.
Right, okay. So can you give me some examples of some of the projects you've been working on recently?
Yes, we've been working quite a lot in Tanzania over the last couple of years, and we've been supporting a project called Share Tanzania. It's working to support special needs children.
Okay.
And we've managed to build a purpose-built house for over 50 special needs children there.
Yeah.
We actually we raised most of the funds for that by climbing Kilimanjaro.
Oh wow.
Which is where the children's home is actually for the special needs. It's at the base of Kilimanjaro, so it made sense for us to climb the mountain and keep the funds locally to support a local cause there.
Right.
And yeah, amazing work what they're doing there with the special needs children. There's a real need for it, certainly in that part of Africa. There's people like special needs children, and the parents certainly don't get any support from the government like we do here in Europe. So, you know, they're pretty much out on their own, and a lot of the time the parents can't be working because they're dealing with their child, and therefore they can't afford to pay rent, and at times they end up finding themselves on the street. Wow. So by offering them shelter and by giving them a sort of a community to live within, with a lot of the time other single parent women who are in there, then they become a support network for themselves. They then are able to give support to other orphan children or children who haven't got any parents in there, and it all sort of works really well. So that's one project in Tanzania there. Also street children. So there's by the same organisation, we've got a street boys home there with about 28 boys in, ranging from 8 to 18, and we provide finances there to. We sort of opened up a music sort of creative school next door to their home, and given lots of equipment to that, and provide the support for teachers to teach artistic skills and music production and things to keep them creative and really engage their minds in creativity.
Okay, so it's not just then raising the finances and getting things implemented in the community. You're also actually inspiring them with the music as well. You know,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, wherever possible. Music, because that's the sort of initial vision for why this came together. Music's been a great part of that. Yeah. Wherever possible, if we can engage some of the children that we're working with music, then that works really well also. It's not always the case, because if we're building things like freshwater wells, which we've also built over what we're on now, I think we're on about 44 freshwater wells.
Right.
Those projects don't necessarily involve music, but the communities that they support, which we then get introduced to, and some of the schools which are around those communities, we then, as the work gets deeper into the community, we can see where there is an opportunity to get music involved, and whether that's getting musical instruments donated, whether it's DJ equipment, paying for music teachers, things like that. Wherever that's possible, it's something that we really like to engage in.
Well, where do you get your? I mean, how do people donate? I mean, do people donate musical instruments or DJ sets or whatever, or stuff like that? Or
yeah, I mean, we've had all sorts, from bits of equipment donated. We've actually got a campaign which we've designed called Get Equipped, right, which is, its main focus is recycling second user equipment, be it musical instruments, be it production equipment, be it DJ equipment, be it computers, and recycling those and placing them back in projects, youth groups, not only in places like Africa, but even in the UK and places like that as well. where we'll then redonate that equipment to those projects who feel that they need it because they've got access to nothing. So somebody else's second-hand equipment can be the beginning of their, education into music, really.
Yeah, isn't that awesome? Isn't that awesome that you can pass on that sort of good effect, basically.
Yeah, and I myself have been a culprit to the sort of digital era of, moving and advancing as quick as, and so you get another piece of equipment, and then that's sort of slightly outdated, so it sits in a drawer.
Yeah.
And doesn't do anything in there. And then at the same time, when we've taken some of those bits of equipment, especially out to Africa, and given those to the projects, and then the children have got their hands on that, it's like they've got the latest model. It doesn't really come into it what model it is. It's just the fact it can do what it can do, and that just sets them off on this really exciting journey of, whether it's how to make music or how to DJ, and it's just amazing to see their enthusiasm for getting something that in our community it's almost like a very old piece of equipment, and nobody's getting that excited about it,
yeah, totally. And I can see that from talking to you, you're obviously very passionate about what you're doing, and I'm curious, what was it that really got you sort of motivated to set this thing up and to get going with it, because it's obviously something very important to you.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to go back to 2008. I'd been living in Ibiza at that point 9 years. Somebody put me up for a charity half marathon.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not something I'd done before. I've danced my way around the planet, but I'd certainly not ran. And I took it upon myself to train, and I enjoyed it and became quite a bit of a runner. And I took part in the world's largest half marathon, which is the Great North Run in Newcastle in England. Yeah. And when I was running with the other 52,000 people, each and every one of those people within that event were all raising funds for somebody or some organisation. And I found that just really overwhelming, that this amount of people from all walks of life that I'd not really, I guess, thought about so much before that was even happening. And then when I found myself in the middle of it, and I'm running and I'm doing this physical challenge, and I'm also thinking about the cause that I was supporting at the time, and looking at all these other people, what they were supporting, it really moved me. And when I came back from that and thought, I've got to set up a fundraiser, like a post-marathon party, is what I sort of term I called it, and came back to Ibiza and organised an event with some DJs, with some musicians on the island. I did it all in a week. It didn't cost really anything because everybody obviously was doing things for free. And I raised an extra £1,500 or whatever it was at the time, which made a huge difference to the cause at the other end. Everybody said, wow, what a great thing to do. Wow, we'd love to get more involved in things like this. And then the sort of light bulb moment came on, well, there's not actually so much of that happening on the island. Mm-hmm. And, maybe it's a good thing for me to start doing, because I've got the skill set and production skills to put on events, because I've done it for a lot of my life. Right. But I'd never done it on that kind of angle to help others. And that was the sort of birthing process. I started a production company called Fire Your Heart Productions. We were working with the environmental people on the island, and Casita Verde, as you might know, and Chris and everybody up there. Mm-hmm. And working locally. And then out of that, I sort of researched the dance music industry to see what difference it was making and how that was engaging in sort of social responsibility. And I was a bit shocked to find it wasn't really doing a lot at all. I couldn't actually find many examples of it making a difference. And that really sort of struck a chord on me in something that I believed in so much, dance music. And I've had so many of those life-affirming moments on a dance floor of everybody hugging each other and sharing love and saying, oh, wow, this thing's really changing the world. Yeah. And then you wake up the next morning and it's like, well, what difference has it made? other than I might be feeling really tired and hungover and all the rest of it. And you know, and that sort of just made me feel a little bit, oh, is that all that this is all about? Have I been in some kind of illusion?
Yeah.
And it just dawned on me, no, it doesn't have to be that. I mean, this is an event-based industry that we can actually really make change happen with this community globally.
Yeah.
And I felt, because I knew a lot of people in that industry, that I could take that mission on board. And shortly after that, the name Last Night DJ Saved My Life came to me one morning, which made me giggle. I thought it was quite fitting. And hey ho, that was in 2010, and that was the birth of it. And we sort of got a board of trustees together. We worked hard to get a charity status in Britain, which took us about a year, but we got that on June the 20th, 2011. And just set about that mission to inspire others by leading by example and sharing examples of ourselves doing events or ourselves working with people to make a difference in lots of different ways, and showing people how easy it can be to make a difference and inspire others to do it, really. And you're trying to create that knock-on effect. If everybody does their bit, between us all, we really are making a difference.
Yeah, and I see that you've been working with people like Carl Cox as well.
Yeah. Carl Cox and Fatboy Slim and Paul Van Dyke and quite a few big artists who, you know, at times it's not so easy to get them involved because they're very busy people. There's a lot of management involved and things like that. But through personal friendships here on the island and some of our team members, we got Carl involved. It was in 2016. It was actually at an event where we got him playing at the Houses of Parliament in Britain. And
I do remember you mentioning something about that, actually.
Yeah. Well, 3 years prior to that, 2013, we made history there with Fatboy Slim and produced the first dance music event in Parliament. Now, it sounds like we were just having a rave in there, but it wasn't. It was on the back of a community-led project that they gave us the permission to do that. So it was both times. It was a campaign called House to House. It was a national DJ competition engaging 16 to 25-year-olds, and as part of their enrolment to register to be part of the competition, they had to do 4 hours community work in a community project.
Oh, brilliant.
So it was like inspiring young people to get involved with helping and in some cases using their music to help the community. Like we had some young DJs got involved in community radio and things like that, you know. And as part of the DJ competition, the prize was to win a set with either Fatboy Slim or Carl Cox at the Houses of Parliament.
Yeah, brilliant. So you're really getting those influences in people that are having a big effect on a lot of people. Yeah,
absolutely. And they you know, those people have got a big voice. They can raise awareness for the organisation in a massive way, and ideally inspire many others in their industry to do the same. You know, and I would say it's not just about people or DJs getting involved. You know, by the likes of Carl Cox getting involved. Yes, it inspires DJs, but hopefully it passes that message down to other people that we can all make a difference as long as people group together. And in our particular foundation, people get in touch with us, then we can quite easily find ways that they can get involved and help them make a difference.
Yeah, and I think that brings you on to the next point is how can people get involved in your projects? How can they support it? How can they be involved?
Yeah, I mean, there's numerous ways. I mean, in the way that I first got involved with my charity fundraising, and a lot of people do nowadays, there's lots of events that you can get involved in, as in like physical challenges, you know, bike ride, running, anything as even as people silly as people shaving their hair off. You know, just whatever examples where people set up a fundraiser to do something like that. It becomes part of a sponsored event. You've got the likes of Just Giving now, which is a platform to help people fundraise for those particular events. That deals in global currencies and things like that, and friends and family can donate via credit cards, and it makes it so easy to fundraise.
Right.
And you've got a landing page which your friends go to. It can clearly state what it's going to. So we have a number of different campaigns that we support. So if it could be Have a Drink on Us, in which case you would be raising funds to build freshwater wells. It could be Smiles for Life, in which case you'd be raising funds for doing cleft palate operations on children. It could be Get Equipped, which is what I was saying before about the sort of recycling second user electronic equipment, music instruments. There's lots of different things you could raise funds for, and you set up your Just Giving page and you decide what you want to do. You could be hosting a charity event. You could be hosting a DJ-led event. We've got a new functionality on Facebook now where you can, on your birthday, Facebook give you the option to donate to charity, and they do this all for free as well. So you just click what you want to support, in which case we would encourage people to click Last Night at DJ Saved My Life. And you encourage your friends and people in your community to fundraise at that point. Right. And that's just really easy. And we get a fair amount of funding comes from that each month. Different people, not necessarily people we know, but people who have chosen to click, I want to support this charity for my birthday.
Yeah.
So that's a really easy option. Clearly raising awareness for us and sharing things on social media and anything that we're posting to help repost and retweet and things like that, just to help on that way. There are volunteer opportunities, certainly with professionals that have got certain skills.
Okay.
That can offer their services in kind for free, let's say. It may be people who have got their own companies, whether that be a print company, whether that be a website company, who knows, lots of different aspects of work that we obviously need and we're working around. And if professional companies can get involved and help us with some of that work, then that's a massive bonus. We work with other corporate companies that donate a share of certain profits from certain products, let's say, or they might have a summer sale and a percentage of that sale comes to us. There are ways that companies have got involved and said, right, we're going to build a well. The cost of building a freshwater well is £2,400 or €2,700-ish. And between all the employees of the company, then they all do whatever they do to raise those funds. And between them, they build a well that's in the name of their company to help one specific community. So look, I'd say, lots of different ways.
Yeah. So it's best that people just visit your website, which is
Last Night at DJSaveMyLife.org.
Okay.
Yeah.
And just to round this up, then, the theme of this issue is feeling worthy and being a valuable human being. In a nutshell, can you tell me how Last Night at DJ Saved My Life does that for children in crisis?
Well, I'd certainly say in some of the more creative projects, like Get Equipped with the music instruments, we've got another one called Street to Street, which is more based around artwork and mentoring with skills and art skills. I think giving them the tools to be able to use and then express themselves creatively, I think is a real great tool for motivation, for self-worth, for self-belief. When you're dealing with children, young people who are very much impoverished from their background, or they're dealing with serious traumas from all sorts of scenarios they've been involved in, that just giving them, a creative tool to not think about some of those darker times and explore their creative self. And I think once they touch base with that within them and within their heart, there's so much goodness comes out of that. And we've seen that happen for our own eyes. You know, it's a really beautiful thing when these young children get access to the tools to be able to then use them to creatively express themselves. It can be quite life-changing. A lot more life-changing than what we use those tools for over here, let's say, or for the fortunate number of us that aren't in that sort of drastic scenario or have been traumatized by life in the same way as somebody who has, and a young child that's had a, for want of a better word, quite a bad, rough start. For the difference that these, them getting access to certain tools and creative tools, and the difference it makes on their life is far greater than it seemed to make on our lives, let's say.
Okay. Well, that seems absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much indeed. Thank you so much for sharing your time and coming here and doing this interview. So I wish you the very best with your project, and thank you.
Brilliant. Thanks a lot, Richard. Good luck with your project as well.
Cheers.
To register for your free online video interview, simply go to communityspiriteasing.com and register today. Thank you.